Hey guys, my name is Emily Marr. I am the Director of Children's and Youth Ministry at Beech Grove United Methodist Church, and today I will be talking about choices. So we're just gonna jump right on in. So, do you ever think about the everyday choices we make? Like the way we dress, or the way we do things, why we talk a certain way, or why we act a certain way? Why do we hang around the people we might hang out with? Why am I sitting in this room right now, other than the fact that it is my living room? Or whatever room you're sitting in. So, before today is over, I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions, and we will go over them. Who makes your choices? How are you making those choices? And why are you making those choices? So let's start with the first one. Who is making our choices? Who are what pressures you to do what you do? What you wear, how you talk. If you're honest with yourselves, we would say that our culture around us has a huge way in saying what we do, what we wear, how we act, and how we talk. And when I say culture, I'm talking about social media, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok even. I'm talking about movie stars, recording artists, athletes, the places we live, and the schools we go to, and the friends that we hang out with. I'm talking about technology, books, whatever social class people put us in. Maybe your parents make all the choices for you. Either because you're afraid that you're going to turn into some heathen, or because they want to protect you. Maybe your friends make your decisions for you because they are the closest family you have, and you're afraid you will lose them too. Maybe money makes your choices because, let's be honest, we don't really have any. And you're tired of living broke. Or maybe you have a whole bunch of stuff and that's what drives you. That's just a few examples of what could be making your choices. So let's look at how we are making our choices. How can music influence those choices you make? How does it influence how we act and talk and what we wear? And I know this is an old phrase, so bear with me, guys, but you probably have heard it before. YOLO. You only live once. A lot of people adopt that motto. I'm sorry, guys. David's making me laugh. Sorry. And started to live a life like there was no tomorrow because of a popular song. Now, what happens when you do live like no tomorrow? Then all of a sudden tomorrow does come. You've been spending all that money, you've been telling people what's on your mind because you know they deserve it, and maybe you start gravitating towards those kinds of things. Maybe you start gravitating towards those drugs and alcohol, maybe skipping school and sleeping in. And what happens then? What happens when someone disrespects you and you're just like, YOLO? What happens when you are tempted to steal from the mall, knowing the police are there, knowing that people have watched you, knowing that they have cameras, but you're just like, YOLO? What happens when your boyfriend or girlfriend is pressuring you to have sex and you're like, YOLO? Then a month later, or rather 9 months later, someone is pregnant. And that's just a few examples of how the culture around us can influence our choices. The idea is to be aware of what is influencing you and how you make the choices that you do. So, what is the why behind our choices. Again, if we're honest, music, money, friends, movies, sports shape the choices we make for two reasons: acceptance and fear. Pretty much any choice we make hinges on those two things. We dress like our friends because we are fear that we will look different, and we want to be accepted by our friends. We want to fit in. We chase money and stuff because we fear that we won't live a good life and have good things. And we fear that we won't be accepted if we don't have a lot of money or stuff. Maybe we flirt or sleep around because we fear that we are not good enough for someone to love us, and we want to be accepted by our boyfriends or our girlfriends. Maybe we get drunk at parties and do drugs because we fear people will label us as goody two-shoes. I was one of those people that was labeled as such. And goody goodies are not accepted by the circles we run in. So let's listen to what Romans 12 verses 1 through 2 has to say about these choices. And it says, "So here is what I want you to do. God helping you. Take your everyday, ordinary life, your sleeping, eating, going to work, and walking around life, and place it before God as an offering. Embrace what God does for you and is the best thing you can do for Him. Don't become so well adjusted to your culture that you fit into it without even thinking. Instead, fix your attention on God. You'll change from the inside out, really recognizing what He wants from you and quickly responding to it. Unlike the culture around you, always dragging you down to its level of immaturity, God brings the best out of you, develops well-formed maturity in you." So this passage basically means that God should just be a part of everything that we do. That He brings out what is good in us, and that we should, in spite of what the bad choices are around us, we should choose His way. The way they bring us goodness and maturity. Let me give you a choice to make. Live free and follow Jesus, or be enslaved to that fear and that acceptance. Who's going to make that choice for you? How are you going to make that choice? And why will you make that choice? I hope this message has challenged you to think about the choices you make. And I hope you're inspired to ask God to show you the source of your choices and how you make them and why you make them. So I do got some discussion questions for you guys and an activity for you guys. So just kind of bear with me. So first, we're going to start off really easy with our discussion questions. And please talk to each other, talk to your parents, your siblings, or whoever you trust. Say your name, your grade, and if you prefer Apple or Android. Personally, I'm an Android fan. How easy is it to cruise through a day and not even think about the choices we make? And why is it so easy? How do things like music, media, celebrities, sports, friends, family, money, whatever, influences the choices that we make? How or why do we allow our friends to influence the choices we are making? What does the renewing of your mind in Romans 12 verse 2 mean to you, and how can your mind be renewed? So the activity I would like you guys to do is I want you to go to a quiet place. That can be your room, it can be outside in nature, whatever. Play a YouTube video, or listen to your favorite worship music. If you have a favorite song, I encourage you to listen to that. Personally, I like to listen to Casting Crowns. They are like my heart and my soul, I swear to you. And I want you to kind of reflect on this lesson. And I want you to bring those choices that you have made and choices you will make in the future. I want you to bring those choices to God. And I want you to allow God to speak to you about all of your choices, both the good and the bad. And if you would like to talk to somebody about it, I am always available. You guys can send me a text at any time of day. You can call, well, not call me at any time of day, but, call me, and I will answer as soon as I can, of course. There's always your parents if you feel comfortable with them. Mr. David, who's sitting up here laughing at me half the time, he will more than gladly talk to you throughout the day as he can. So just anyone you feel comfortable with. Next week, we will be talking about Father's Day, and we will be going over the verse of 1 John chapter 3, verses 1 through 3. If you guys would like to read that ahead of time, I encourage you to do so, and I will talk with you guys next week.